This holiday season, prepare to have the stuffing scared out of you. Thanksgiving. In the town of Plymouth, Massachusetts, the fourth Thursday in November is the most celebrated day of the year. The table is set. The festivities have begun. But an uninvited guest had arrived, and this year there will be no leftovers. Thanksgiving.
BoogeyMan band coming round the bend. Is BoogeyMan band. Is BoogeyMan band.
Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Well, we have a brand new spooky screenings. This is the first one I've done since October 7th. That's when I reviewed Exorcist Believer. So it's been a while since I've done one of these. And this is a film that I have been waiting for 16 years, ever since Grindhouse came out in 2007. Now, I remember this was a very aggressive effort by Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. This was set up as like a 4-hour event. And I remember it didn't do well, but and it was very unfortunate because once I watched these films, especially Death Proof, I enjoy Planet Terror, but Death Proof I absolutely love. And one of my favorite performances by Kurt Russell. That movie is just absolutely fantastic. But I loved the mock trailers that were done for this as well, because you know you had the 2-hour film, you had the two films, and then there was intermissions, and you had the trailers for like Machete, of course, with Danny Trejo. You had, I think it was Werewolf Women of the SS, which was done by Rob Zombie. And then you had Thanksgiving, which was a trailer that was done by Eli Roth. Now, Eli Roth is a filmmaker that I really appreciate. I'm not a huge fan of the Hostel films, and I've talked about it in a few previous segments that I've done on this channel. The original Hostel really disturbed me greatly because it came out around the same time that my best friend passed away. And when I tried to watch it, it wasn't a film that I could enjoy. I've seen Hostel 2. That one bothered me a little bit, even a little bit more, because it was dealing with women being tortured, and I don't want to see that. Cabin Fever was okay. It wasn't my favorite. I did like Green Inferno, and I've grown to appreciate that movie more over time. My favorite film of his is Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves, which is actually a remake of the film Death Game. That film I actually really enjoyed, and a lot of people really shit on that film a lot. I also enjoyed The House with the Clock in Its Wall. I've only seen that once. That was where he kind of veered into the kind of more of a kid's story, Halloween story with Jack Black. I've only seen it once, so I don't recall a lot about it. And then his remake of Death Wish with Bruce Willis I thought was okay. There was parts of it I liked. I didn't really care for the execution of that film. I don't know why. But again, it might be one I just need to revisit. But I was really looking forward to Thanksgiving just because I adore that trailer. I watch it quite a bit, and when I finally found out that they were actually going to be doing this movie, I was ecstatic. When I first started seeing the trailers, I was a little concerned because I kept thinking they'd have that Grindhouse feel to them, kind of like the way the Machete movies were very tongue-in-cheek and everything like that. But when I saw them, and it had more of a it's set in current times. It has more of, you know, just like a modern horror film look. I was like going, I hope this is good. To talk about the plot a little bit for this film, after a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday. For the cast, you have Patrick Dempsey as Sheriff Eric Newland, Gina Gershon as Amanda Collins, Rick Hoffman as Thomas Wright, Addison Rae as Gabby, Nell Verlique as Jessica, and Gabriel Davenport as Scuba. This is based on a screenplay by Jeff Rendell. Story was by Eli Roth and Jeff Rendell, and the movie was directed by Eli Roth. So did this film live up to expectations? Abso-fucking-lutely it did, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says. This movie was a blast. But the crowd that I was with just was not into it. There was one guy in my row, and there was a couple sitting in front of me, and they were so quiet through the whole thing. Like every time I was like, oh, like every once in a while I'd hear somebody make some type of sound that was in the back row. I was in the second from the front row. It was like crickets it was just like crickets in the theater, and it just surprised me because I'm like, this movie is so fun and so just involving, and every time you think like the gag or the impact of the gore hits one spot, it actually goes a little bit further. I also love what it said about commerce and just the whole thing begins on this note of Black Friday and how it used to be. This isn't really a thing anymore, but after 9/11, I don't know if people remember these times. This is going back a number of years, but after 9/11, that was when you started to see the shift, and Black Friday used to become something else, where people were just mobbing these stores and nearly killing each other to get toasters and televisions and things like that. And I felt like the opening scene that sort of depicts this really did it exceptionally well, and just shows how insane people can be. They did it in Krampus too, which I thought was really well done, but this one takes it so much further, because this incident is sort of what triggers the events that happen a year later, because it starts at one point and then it jumps to the following Thanksgiving. But I thought the entire cast was great. Patrick Dempsey, I'm just a huge fan of. Been a fan of him since Can't Buy Me Love. And it was great to see him in another horror film. Of course, he was in Scream 3, and I keep hoping that maybe he'll show up in one of the future sequels, because his character is married to Sydney now. But yeah, I thought he was great, and I'm just a huge fan of the guy, and I always have been. It was nice to see Gina Gershon. She's another actress that I've always had kind of a small crush on, and she was great in it. Also, the young cast. I've heard some people that have reviewed the film kind of downplay them as just, they're just, victims. But I actually really thought there was some really big standouts, especially Nell Verlique. I don't know if or Verlique. I don't know how I'm saying her name right, but she played the main, sort of our main final girl, if you want to call her that. But she plays Jessica. I thought she was great. Very natural. I haven't seen her in anything else. I don't believe she's done a lot of projects, but she was very natural. I really liked her character, and she was so much fun to follow along. Also, her friends, especially the character of Scuba, I thought he was awesome. Played by Gabriel Davenport, was also great. Jalen Thomas Brooks as Bobby was another character that I really loved in the film. And there's this influencer young lady that's in it. I'm not really familiar with her. Her name's Addison Rae. She plays Gabby in it. She was great. I thought she did a great job, and she was very natural and not cringy at all. And so some of these people that are just ripping some of these younger actors, I thought they all did a great job. And again, the new killer, the John Carver character, is awesome. There's a lot of really cool touches in this film, and I did see a couple of homages to other films that I love, like the I Know What You Did Last Summer films, My Bloody Valentine. There's a lot of little touches in this that I don't want to ruin for people, but I love this character, and I sported my John Carver pin and my shirt seeing it. I'm glad I got these items from Fright Rags. I think this is a new horror icon. It was just done so beautifully, and he was intimidating. There's a lot of great stalking scenes in it, and the gore is absolutely fucking brilliantly brutal. Very practical effects. I think there was a little CGI in some spots, but nothing that took away from how brutal some of the scenes were, some of these set pieces were in this film. Some of them absolutely shocked me. This is absolutely, if not my favorite film of the year, it is in my top 3 of the year. I have to think about it a little bit more, but it's the one that, it's one of these films that I wanted to be so good this year. And it succeeded. It's easily my favorite Eli Roth film. And I definitely want people to go and check this out in the movie theater. It is a film to be seen with a crowd. I really hope everyone will support it, give it a chance. I know it did pretty well. I think it was 3rd at the box office with 10 million, but it had a very small budget of 15. But please support films like this. It's original, it's fun, it's terrific homages to some great horror films, and I think Eli Roth really knocked it out of the park. I think this is his best film, and I really like the guy because he is a horror fan, and you can tell, and he did a great job, and so did everybody in the cast. Absolutely go out and support Thanksgiving. It was so much fun to see it, and I hope everyone else will support it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again later. Take it easy, stay scared as always. Peace. Hey, my fellow Fright Fiends, I just want to thank everyone for supporting BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone. If you haven't yet subscribed and you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I try to drop a video at least once or twice a week. The Horror Zone is a passion of mine, and it really makes me happy that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace.